in worship today. Would you stand as we continue and as you're able? If joining us online, we're grateful to see you. We know you could have chose any service to go to. We're glad you chose us. Sing We Dream. We dream of you on city streets, breathing again on our bones. We dream of you at kitchen sinks, your glory filling our homes. We are not beasts of burden, we are children of grace, and the blue in our colors is a garment of praise. Sing we dream of you on country roads, strolling along with our friends, leaving behind flickering screens to be together again. We are not beasts of burden, we are children of grace, and the blue in our colors is a garment of praise. Let the earth rejoice, let the seas resound, let the people sing the songs of joy, let the rocks cry out, let the rivers roll, let the people sing the songs of joy. Sing, let the earth rejoice, let the seas resound, let the people sing the songs of joy, let the rocks cry out, let the rivers roll, let the people sing the songs of joy, let the people sing the songs of joy. We are not beasts of burden, we are children of grace, and the blue in our colors is a garment of praise. We dream of you on city streets, breathing again on our bones. We dream of you at kitchen sinks, your glory filling our homes. You may take a seat. My newest member here, my newest worship leader. I need to get her an egg shaker. Maybe.
Do you want to do announcements, Charlie? Maybe later. Good morning. It is so good to be with you on this spring Sunday morning. It is officially spring here in Minnesota, even if it doesn't completely feel like it. I am so excited to be with you this morning. My name is Jeremy. I'm the pastor here at the Grove, Cottage Grove, and we are a new church that exists to grow goodness. And so my hope is that you're being here in the room with us today, you're watching with us online, you're interacting with us out in the community throughout the week is helping to nurture healing, wholeness, and beauty in your life. As you came in this morning, hopefully you received one of these, our worship handouts. This includes some of the most important information that you're going to want to know about the church and all the things that are going on. If you did not get one, there should be some at the back table. Now would be a great time for you to grab them. As you open it up, on the left-hand side, there's important information about how we got started, what our values are. On the bottom, about how to give to make sure that we are able to continue to do all of this that you love and that we want to exist for people arriving next. Then on the right-hand side, there's information about kids in worship. I'll give you more information about kids in worship in just a moment. But then also on the inside is what we call our worship insert. This is your opportunity to let us know that you're here with us today or to request any information about the church. So you could share contact information on the front. There's boxes on the back if you're interested in specific information. And there's even a spot for sharing prayer requests if there's things that you would like us to join you in praying about. You can fill this out at any time during or after the service and then drop it in the basket, which is on that back table at any point during or after the service. Then on the back, we have our 3 announcements that we have been keying in on in this season. And we're going to begin doing something a little different because I get up here and I talk a whole lot. And I think that as I talk a whole lot, rather than sharing meaningful information that you're going to remember, I think that it often gets lost. So beginning today, we are going to be moving a whole lot of our announcement absorption to you. What that means is there's going to be one QR code that you can scan for all of the stuff that is currently going on that you need to know about, and it's going to be in a link tree. Are you familiar with link trees at all? So if you scan this QR code going forward, all of the most important things that we want you to know about are simply going to be in a list of buttons, and then you can choose to click on any of those individual buttons to find out all the information that you need to know. So right now, those things are Lent, and specifically our Maundy, Thursday service. There's information about that and even how to sign up to bring food for that service. There's information about Being the Hope and how to give to our Being the Hope campaign. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. And then around baptism as well, if that is something that you are interested for yourself or for your child. You can learn more by clicking on that, and then you can even sign up there as well. Now, the last thing to discuss right up front is kids within worship. Kids are not only welcome here, but they are valued members of this community, and we try to make sure that we have the space, create the space for that to be true. So kids are welcome in the worship center throughout the service. We have activities in the backs of the chairs for them to do. We have our quiet wiggle space on the side if they need to get up and move their bodies. And then we, of course, have our programming as well for nursery, for birth through age 3, and then Grove Kids, which we sing out in just a few minutes, ages 4 through 5th grade. The one thing that we ask is if this is their first time with us, that you fill out a registration. You can either grab one of these off the back table and fill it out and send that with them as they go to those places, or scan the QR code, and that gets emailed to our leaders so that they have all of the most important information that they need so they can take care of your kids well. Okay, that's it. To catch my breath, we're going to move into the part of the service which we call Connection Point. This is your opportunity to connect with people around you. And yes, we give you the opportunity to do that. It's forced interaction, but it's still a good opportunity for you and for all of us. So just to lower the anxiety level a little bit, we provide you with a question to discuss. So in just a few moments, we're going to ask you to stand up, find someone near you don't know or don't know very well, introduce yourself, and then if you have no idea what to discuss with this stranger, you at least have this one question. Today's topic, part of today's topic, is going to be about having an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And so the question is, what's something that you have abundance of? Abundance is like you have more than enough. You not only have enough, but you have more than enough. And maybe it's even enough to be able to share with other people. Like Girl Scout cookies? You never have too many Girl Scout cookies. That's a scarcity. No, whatever. Maybe you have something that you hold really dear that you collect, and it's maybe something that you have too much of. I don't know. Why don't you find someone you don't know or don't know very well, stand up, introduce yourself, discuss this or any other things that you might find important, and then we'll reconvene in a few minutes.
kiddos, you can head off to kids service if you'd like, and adults, you may wrap up conversations and take a seat.
All right. I'll turn your attention once again to the worship handout on the back. That middle announcement is about Being the Hope. So Being the Hope is our campaign which we do during the season of Lent leading up to Easter. We do it every single year here at the Grove during the season of Lent. And the Being the Hope campaign is about raising awareness and funds to support ministries and organizations that are growing goodness outside of the local church. So we have our normal weekly giving that we encourage you to participate in. In the fall, we have our stewardship campaign where we ask for folks to make commitments for giving for the operating budget for the next year. We have our property improvement campaign, which happens during the summer, where we're raising funds for things like a new projector or an outdoor stage, which are contributing to our property. But the Being the Hope campaign, again, is focused on outside organizations and ministries that are doing meaningful things that we want to make sure that we are supporting. Each of the weeks throughout Lent, we are focusing on one of those individual organizations and having someone come and speak about the work that they are doing. And so I have the opportunity to introduce someone who I know quite well. Come on up, Sue. We have Sue McEwen from, well, technically she works for the district, but she is here representing Sawashko Cares. So let's welcome Sue, and then she's going to tell us all about Sawashko Cares.
Good morning, everyone. As Jeremy said, I'm Sue McEwen. I'm on the board for Sawashko Cares. Sawashko Cares stands for South Washington County Community Action Reaching Every Student. We are a community-led nonprofit organization that helps to support the students, the families, the staff, and the community of South Washington County to set our students up for success in every way that we can. And we do this in 4 different ways. We try to meet student needs, which, as it shows up there, we work to provide snacks for students who need snacks, winter clothing, school supplies. We had a huge group of people come through getting winter coats and boots this year. Snacks ongoing. It's hard to believe how many kids don't have snacks to have at school every day, and we're always receiving requests from the teachers for snacks. The next thing down is to have access to opportunities. We provide scholarships to students. We do free after-school classes. We have a mental health grant to help students get that need that they need, and transportation. And then the staff appreciation is our 3rd bucket that we spend money on. We give classroom grants to teachers for special projects that they want, some innovative things that they need in their classrooms. We recognize special teachers, and we celebrate the staff at the end of the school year. And then this is the thing where we really appreciate the Grove's support, is our community events. We have our schoolie bus that comes every night of the week. We come here on Thursdays all summer long, and you guys are incredible partners, and we really, really appreciate that. But to provide community, we started the whole schoolie program thinking, oh yeah, it's a long summer and not every kid gets food in the summer. And how are we gonna bring food to people? So we started schoolie nights where there's a meal and there's activities. And then we realized that people come out not just for the food, they come for the community or for the activities. Maybe their students don't have the opportunity to go to camp and things like that. Well, we have really fun activities that happen every night of the week all summer. And some people just come because they want to meet other people in their community. That's a great way to meet people. So the schoolie program is huge. We also do meals. Occasionally we've been able to have grants through Washington County where we give fresh produce as well. So that gives a little overview, but now I also have a video so that you get a really good idea of what Sawashko Cares does. And again, thank you all for your support.
Sawashko Cares is the community-led nonprofit that supports the Sawashko Schools community. The CARES in Sawashko Cares stands for Community Action Reaching Every Student.
As a community, we want to set our students up for success in every way that we can. We do this by meeting the needs of our students, providing access to opportunities, showing appreciation to our school staff, and hosting community building events for people to connect, give help, and get help. We are a community that cares.
I care about my family. I care about my family. I care about my mom. I care about my parents. I care about my parents. I care about Minnesota. I care about community. I care about my mom. I care about teachers. I care about kids.
Since we formed in 2016, we have served thousands of meals and snacks, provided thousands of items of new winter clothing, and given out thousands of school supplies. In addition to these basic needs, we also provide access to opportunities for students by removing barriers through offering financial aid, scholarships, and free enrichment activities. All of our programs are community-driven, student-centered, and help our district help our students. We do all of this through grants and donations from our generous community. In addition to meeting basic needs, Sawashko Cares makes it a priority to give back to our teachers and district staff. This involves directing a percentage of our funding towards staff appreciation, including a classroom grant program, because supporting our staff ultimately helps support our students. The tagline for Sawashko Cares is "Our community helping our community." The Sawashko Schools community is at the heart of everything we do, and we couldn't do what we do without you. In addition to the things that we provide, we want our students, families, and staff to know that they are part of a community that cares. Thank you for your support, and thank you for caring.
It's our community helping our community.
Thank you again, Sue, for being here. Let's give Sue and Sawashko Cares as a whole a hand. Just so you are aware, there are some brochures at the back, on the back table, if you want to learn more about this organization that we love so much and that we want to continue to support. Do you?
Would you stand as you're able as we continue to worship? May my prayer like incense rise before you. The
So this is the third week of Lent, this season that leads us up to and prepares us for Easter. And it's also the third week of our Lent series, which is all about trying to be people of peace in a violent world. And I want to acknowledge how big and heavy that type of thing can be, especially in general, but especially how we kicked off this series the last couple weeks. On the one hand, we're talking about really big, even philosophical topics like pathological dualism. Remember that from a couple weeks ago? Or virtuous violence. So there's these big philosophical ideas which might seem a little bit overwhelming, but then there's actually the content of it and what that actually means. Violence in our world. We talked about wars that have been happening, are happening now. We talked about political violence, which is breaking out and seems to be exasperating. We talked about violence, either physical violence or even violent rhetoric against trans people. Last week we talked about violent culture and the idea that violence in the United States is almost like the water that we swim in. It's the thing that we just have learned to deal with. Those are really big and kind of overwhelming things. And so I want to acknowledge that because I also wanted to acknowledge that we're going to try to continue to bring it down to our own level, to a way that we can really understand and grasp it. Yes, there are these big topics, but let's make it understandable and meaningful so we actually know what to do with it. And hopefully that becomes a little bit easier today too, because we're going to move from these really big, large-scale types of violence to much more personal and interpersonal. Today, we're going to be talking about the idea of sibling rivalry. How many of you either do not have a sibling or do not have kids with siblings? Is there anybody? I'm sorry. You've got kids with siblings. Do you have a sibling, Joe? Okay, so you have a sibling. Does anybody not themselves have a sibling, or you don't have kids with a sibling? Okay, everybody in this room. So 80% of people in the United States who have one kid in the household, have a kid in the household, have more than one kid. So this applies to every one of you, because either you have a sibling or you have kids with siblings. That's great. Then I don't have to say the rest of you have to leave. This is going to be applicable to everybody, because if you have a sibling or your kids have siblings, you know that there is rivalry inherent in that. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, or at least an introduction into the topic that we're going to be talking about today. So once again, we're going to start with the high level and then go down to the more practical, interpersonal. So the high level theory that we're going to be talking about today, which informs sibling rivalry, is this concept called mimetic desire. Anybody familiar with René Girard? This old French guy. René Girard was a 20th century French philosopher, and one of the things that he talked about was how one of the major drivers of violence in our world, and especially interpersonal violence, is this idea of mimetic desire. Very simply, mimetic desire is you're wanting something that you see that other people have. So you see that somebody else has something that you don't have, and you decide that you want that thing, and you do what is necessary to pursue that thing that you do not have. Now, one of the things that he pointed out was that often that desire for the thing is directly connected to your relationship that you have with the person that has it. So there might be a stranger who has something that you want, and you want that thing, but you might not be willing to take an action against that person. But the closer connection you have, the more likely you are to want to take an action. Well, what's some of the closest connections that we have? It's with our siblings. So when you see a sibling have something that you want, because your connection is close to them, your negative feelings are bound to rise because of your heightened connection with them. If you have kids, or if you yourself have siblings, you know what it's like to be in conflict with your siblings over something that they have. Yeah? I have 3 kids. I have 2 older brothers, so I knew this personally for myself, but I have 3 kids. They're very close to one another, but But two of the siblings are identical twins, which means they are very, very close to each other, right? Now, what we observed from very early on is a mimetic desire within these kids that have, like, they share the same DNA, folks. So, like, their connection to each other is about as close as you can get, and they have this mimetic desire, have had it since they were 2 months old. Maddie saw this bow on Bria, and she's like, I want that thing. This is actually a video. I'm not going to show you that video, but it's a video of Maddie at 2 months old continuing to reach over and grab this bow off of Bria's head, or attempt to grab this bow off of Bria's head. I do have a different video, though. That is from when they were 2 months old. This next video is from when they were 1 year old. And again, mimetic desire at work within these siblings. Go ahead and play it. So there's this one pacifier. You can see there's one in the background too, though. Maddie could go and get that one. She sees it, maybe, thinks about it. No. And back. And then Bria's finally like, I'm out of here, because she's going to keep taking it. If this is violence, this is the cutest form of violence I've ever seen. It's not, we wouldn't view that as violence, but that mimetic desire, that desire for something that we don't have, that's present in somebody else, especially in someone who we're really closely connected to, can often lead, if we're willing to pursue that thing at any cost, can often lead to violence. We see this in our lives. We've seen this in our siblings and maybe even in our kids. This is also something that we see, unfortunately, in the Bible as well. The Bible, as this library of books written over hundreds of years that shows us what the life of faith looks like in all of its messiness, has sibling rivalry like spread throughout it. In fact, it's one of the major themes of the first book of the Bible, the book of Genesis, and we see it as early as the 4th chapter of the first book of the Bible, where this all goes down. One of the first stories in the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, is this story about the first humans. Adam and Eve, they're living in this garden. They were put in paradise. They're given one rule. You're not to eat this fruit from this tree. They eat this fruit from this tree. Everything starts falling apart from there. They're banished from the garden. And at that point, we're left questioning, well, where do they go from here? And so we pick up that story in Genesis chapter 4, immediately following what has just happened. So it's going to be up here on the screen behind me. Now the man had marital relations with his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. Then she said, I have created a man just as the Lord did. Then she gave birth to another brother, or to his brother, Abel. Abel took care of the flocks, while Cain cultivated the ground. All at the designated time, Cain brought some of the fruit of the ground for an offering to the Lord. But Abel brought some of the firstborn of his flock, even the fattest of them. And the Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering, but with Cain and his offering he was not pleased. So Cain became very angry, and his expression was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why is your expression downcast? Is it not true that if you do what is right, you will be fine? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at the door. It desires to dominate you, but you must subdue it. Cain said to his brother Abel, let's go out to the field. While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where's your brother Abel? And he replied, I don't know. Am I my brother's guardian? But the Lord said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. So to summarize, the moment siblings are introduced into the story is the first moment when we see violence. If you've got kids or you have your own sibling, you're like, yeah, that tracks. Of course, this is how it unfolds. But it doesn't have to be this way. Now, there is this theological concept which many people pin like much of their theology around, this idea of original sin. Does this sound familiar to you at all? So this idea of original sin is that because those first humans, because Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3, because they broke those rules, what it meant was they infected basically everybody. And that because they broke those rules, because they allowed sin to enter the world, we are all inherently sinful and incapable of doing good on our own. And so, if that's the case, we move on to Genesis 4, this very next chapter, and it's their kids. And the conclusion then is, well, this is just an outcome of having original sin. Why should we expect anything different? To which I would say, just read the story, because that's not what's going on. If we go back to the story, it's right there in the story. This is verses 6 and 7 again. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why is your expression downcast? It is not true that if you do what is right, you will be fine. But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to dominate you, but you must subdue it." The sin, the mistake that happens here, the violence that breaks out, it's not original. And it's not inevitable. Cain has a way of responding to this. He has an opportunity to do different. And so it's almost as if God is seeing this mimetic desire at work in Cain, his desire for the praise that his brother just got. And it's as if God is saying, nothing is preventing you from doing better than your parents just did. Your desire isn't bad, but don't let it get the best of you and cause you to act out violently. Cain has a choice. He has this desire, but he has a choice of how he is going to respond to it. Unfortunately, this is not the only sibling rivalry that breaks out in the scriptures, and even in the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible. And in fact, it becomes a major theme throughout the book of Genesis. There are several different examples that track right down from here. So first of all, there's Isaac and Ishmael. Isaac and Ishmael are sons of Abraham, the major patriarch of the Jewish faith. They're from different moms, and so that's kind of contentious. But Isaac and Ishmael are constantly fighting because they're fighting over the blessing of their father Abraham and who's going to go forward with the blessing. Then there's Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau are the sons of Isaac, so they are like in that line. They're twins. They're fighting literally from the moment they come out of the womb. And then, just as Esau is about to get his father's blessing, Jacob sweeps in and steals it. And Esau's not happy about that, and then chases him and tries to kill him. Okay? Then we have Leah and Rachel, or Leah and Rebekah. These are Jacob's wives plural, and they are constantly fighting. Yes, they're wives plural, but they're also sisters. They're constantly fighting. They're fighting for their husband's attention, but then they're also fighting for their own sons and how their sons can get attention from their father. And then finally, we've got Joseph and his brothers, Joseph of Technicolor Dreamcoat. These are Jacob's sons. Joseph is going around and saying, I'm the favorite, I'm the best, I've had all these dreams of how you're going to bow down to me. His brothers don't like that very much, and they try to kill him, and they don't kill him, but they end up throwing him in a pit. Again, there's a lot that's going on in this family, and it gets handed down from one generation to the next. These siblings have something going on. It gets handed down to the next, to the next, to the next generation. And on the one hand, you might just think, well, this is one screwed up family that needs to deal with all their issues. But it actually is much bigger than that. And it actually gets much larger and scaled up from there. Because this is not just a story of something that's happening within a single family, but it's representative of something that is to come. Because from this single family comes this great nation known as Israel, but it gets scaled up, And it becomes a symbol for the fight that happens between the brothers on a national level. Because if you know the story of Israel at all, what happens is they move into their own land. They are supposed to be unified as God's people, where they are going to be a blessing to bless the world. And instead, after just 2 kings, they end up splitting, having this violent divide that happens between the 2 of them. And eventually, both the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom get completely wiped off the map. And so it turns out that this mimetic desire, this sibling rivalry, can lead not to just an issue going on in an individual family, but to a violent implosion of an entire nation. Because they desire something that they think they deserve over and against somebody else. Now, one of the things that I think is present within mimetic desire and often informs it is this feeling of scarcity, where we think we need and want that other thing because if someone else has it, then we can't have it, or we can't have something that is going to be personally fulfilling to us. So when something's rare and finite, the stakes are heightened. And we want to possess it, and we're willing to do just about anything to possess it. Whether that's a parent's blessing, or a spouse's affection, or an inheritance, or maybe God's love. But often that scarcity is simply manufactured, either by somebody else or within our own heads. So once we get to the Christian scriptures, we have Jesus come along and notice this within people, knowing the history of the book of Genesis and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah and all that meant. And so he tells a story among many different stories about how to go about combating this kind of mindset. So he tells 3 different stories about lost things in the book of Luke. There's a story of a lost coin. Someone loses their coin, and they are willing to give up just about anything in order to get that coin back. About a shepherd with a lost sheep. They're willing to leave the other 99 behind in order to pursue this one. And then he tells the most famous of them about a lost son. You might know this story as the prodigal son. If you're not familiar with it, or if you are and just need a little bit of a refresher, this is a story of a son. He has a brother, but this is one son who says, Dad, I wish you were dead so that I could have my inheritance and go about living my own life. His dad isn't thrilled with that, but gives him his inheritance, and he goes about trying to live his own life. He squanders it all away, and then finds himself crawling back home to grovel and try to get back in the good graces of his father. And what he finds is that his father is there waiting to embrace him. This is a beautiful story for everybody except the other brother who's still at home. This is the part of the story that often does not get told. Again, this is from Luke chapter 15. Now his older son was in the field. As he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the slaves and asked what was happening. The slave replied, "Your brother has returned, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he got his son back safe and sound." But the older son became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and appealed to him. But he answered his father, "Look, these many years I have worked like a slave for you, and I never disobeyed your commands. Yet you never gave me even a goat so that I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back, who has devoured your assets with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him." Then the father said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and everything that belongs to me is yours. It was appropriate to celebrate and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found." The brother, reacting out of this scarcity mindset in which his father's love is rare and finite, is angry. And probably if he doesn't have people holding him back, I would not be surprised if he goes out and kills his brother. But the father, reacting out of an abundance mindset in which love and grace are limitless, tells him to knock it off. That he's not missing out on anything, that just because his brother is getting this does not mean that he has gotten plenty for himself. This The scarcity versus abundance mindset, I think, is huge. I think that it's present within our literal sibling rivalries, but often is also scaled up, like those stories in Genesis, from the individual level to the national and international level, to those siblings that are not just our blood siblings. And so if things are truly rare and truly finite, truly limited, what would you not do to secure them? If somebody else has this thing that you want, that you feel like you need, if there's only one of them to go around, what would you not do? It might start with a little toy. It might start with a pacifier or a bow even. But what if that scales up towards affection and validation that you get from your parents or from other loved ones? What if that scales up to someone getting rights and dignity, which you think you deserve, but they do not? What if it scales up even larger to, there's that plot of land over there that someone has that I would really like. It doesn't matter what land I have. I want that over there. And then, of course, like this story of the prodigal son, there is this sinner who receives grace that they have no business deserving. It could make you upset, could make you angry, and you know what? If it's really that scarce and that limited, it could even make you violent. But here's the thing. Most things aren't scarce. Most things aren't that rare. Most things aren't that finite. We have simply either led ourselves or been led by others to believe that they are. Like God said to Cain before he did this violent act, sin is crouching at the door. It desires to dominate you. You must subdue it. And I would add that we can subdue it. There are more pacifiers out there. There are more pretty little bows. There are more toys. There is more love and validation. There are more rights and dignity. There is more land. There is more grace for all of us who are imperfect. Life is not a zero-sum game. And the faster we can get to that, the more likely we are to not be reactive. Now, that simple change in mindset, is it going to fix all of our problems, whether our personal struggles with our siblings or the conflicts that we have in our world? Probably not. But maybe they will keep us from wanting to kill each other. And as people of peace living in a violent world, I will take that as a win. So may that be so.
Would you stand as you're able?
When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and the depths of the rivers shall not overwhelm. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. I am the Lord. I am the Lord. there's a galaxy behind your eyelids, and there's a war in your house, and there's a meaning that is far beyond us, and there is courage in doubt. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up, raise up. I have told you that I am the way and the truth and the life. I am justice, I am all that is right. Carry on now, carry on. Carry on now. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up, raise up. I have told you that I am the way and the truth and the life. I am justice, I am all that is right. Carry on now, carry on. Carry on now. I am the way and the truth and the life. I am mystery, the day and the night. Carry on now, carry on. Carry on now. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up.
Once again, it was so good to be with you today. Let's give one more hand to Sue and Sawashko Cares. Thank you, Sue, for being here. You're already standing, so I'll have you extend your hands to receive this blessing. As we go, may we have that abundance mindset, knowing that there is more than enough love, dignity, and grace to go around in our violent world. May that be so. Amen.
We dream of you on city streets.